The story opens with a chilling prophecy that sets the tone for everything about to unfold. We are introduced to the concept of the Sirat, a mythical bridge that stretches precariously between hell and paradise. According to ancient belief, this path is thinner than a single strand of hair and sharper than the edge of a sword, meaning that traversing it requires a balance so precise it borders on the miraculous. This metaphor for an impossible journey hangs heavy over the scorched landscapes of Morocco as we meet Luis, a man who looks like he hasn't slept in weeks. He is frantically showing a photograph to anyone who will look, desperate for a lead on his missing daughter, Mar. She was supposed to arrive here in this vast and unforgiving country, but she has vanished without a trace, and the silence has been stretching on for 5 long months. Luis is not alone. He is accompanied by Esteban, a younger companion who seems just as weary but loyal to the cause. They track down a group of European ravers, nomads of the electronic beat, who have set up camp in this desolate environment. Luis approaches them with the photo, pleading for recognition, but the response is disheartening. "I don't recall seeing her," one says, while another simply shakes his head, claiming to have never seen the girl before. However, there is a glimmer of hope. One of the ravers mentions that there is another rave happening deeper in the desert, suggesting that perhaps Mar might be there. It's a thin lead, but for a desperate father, it is enough to keep the engine running. Just as this fragile plan begins to form, the world suddenly fractures. What starts as a standard police evacuation quickly spirals into a nightmare scenario. Security forces descend on the area, shouting that a state of emergency is in effect and ordering all citizens of the European Union to get into their vehicles immediately. The confusion is absolute. Why are they dispersing us, the ravers ask, only to be told it is for their own safety. The reality of the situation comes crashing in through radio broadcasts. Explosions have rocked multiple cities across the country. Attacks are coming from at least 4 directions, and a military airfield has been struck. The anchor's voice is grim as he announces that war has begun tonight, with chaos reigning in both the east and west of the country. While the rest of the foreigners scramble toward the borders to flee the country, Luis makes a decision that defies all survival instincts. He refuses to turn back. He is going deeper into the chaos to find Mar. However, his sedan is ill-equipped for the rugged terrain of the deep desert, and he knows it. He spots the ravers' heavy-duty truck and decides to shadow them, hoping their vehicle can carve a path he can follow. The ravers, a motley crew, including a fierce woman named Jade and a punk with a mohawk named Biggie, are not thrilled about having a tail. They warn Luis that his car won't make it and that the road is dangerous, but Luis pleads with them, insisting he has no choice. The journey becomes a slow descent into desperation. As they travel further from civilization, resources begin to dwindle. Luis and Esteban run low on fuel and are forced to beg the ravers for help. The transaction is tense and transactional. The ravers, sensing the older men's desperation, charge them an exorbitant amount for gasoline. It's too expensive, Esteban argues, but the ravers justify the price by claiming they need to make a profit, eventually agreeing to sell them enough for 3 canisters, only after Luis hands over all the cash he has. It is a humiliating moment that highlights the divide between the two groups, the carefree, nihilistic youth and the older generation bound by duty and love. While despite the friction, a strange bond begins to form in the vacuum of the wasteland. They share moments of respite, debating over oranges and chocolate. Esteban, ever the pragmatist, argues that they shouldn't be greedy but far-sighted with their supplies, while Luis insists on sharing what little they have with the ravers out of courtesy. We see the ravers' humanity peek through their rough exterior. They look at the photo of Mar and note a family resemblance, saying she has a sad look, much like Esteban. They even joke about the snoring from the previous night, comparing it to a musical performance. But the levity is short-lived. The terrain turns against them.
The sedan gets stuck on a steep, rocky incline. The wheels spin uselessly, and the car refuses to move. Luis and Esteban get out to push and maneuver the vehicle, but the situation is precarious. Luis tries to guide Esteban, shouting instructions, but the physics of the slope are unforgiving. In a horrifying instant, gravity wins. The car begins to slide uncontrollably. "Pull the handbrake!" Luis screams, panic shredding his voice. But it is too late. The car, with Esteban inside, rolls backwards and plummets off the edge of the cliff. The aftermath is a scene of raw devastation. Luis stands at the edge of the abyss, screaming Esteban's name over and over, his voice echoing off the canyon walls. He tries to climb down, desperate to see him, to find a pulse, but the ravers hold him back. "You can't go down," they tell him, forcing him to look at the reality. The car is smashed, and Esteban is gone. Luis has lost his companion, his vehicle, and his means of escape. He is now entirely at the mercy of the ravers. Grief-stricken and numb, Luis climbs into the truck with the group. The dynamic shifts. He is no longer a nuisance following them, but a broken passenger they are responsible for. They drive on through the dust, the radio continuing to broadcast the collapse of the world outside. "We are witnessing great chaos," the announcer says, speaking of nations choosing sides and the world as they knew it being overturned. It feels as though they're driving through the end of times. The heat is oppressive, and tensions rise inside the truck. There's a bizarre argument about a smell, with Biggie being accused of defecating in the truck, which he vehemently denies, swearing it wasn't him. It's a moment of absurdity that underscores the madness of their situation. They eventually reach a flat, open expanse that looks like salvation, but is actually a trap. The truck stops. The group spills out, exhausted and on edge. Jade, ever the anarchist, tells someone to blow it up, referring to the music or perhaps just the vibe, but the command is met with a literal horror. An explosion rips through the air. Tanin, one of the ravers, is instantly killed. The shock is immediate. "What is that?" someone screams, and the realization dawns on them with terrifying clarity. We are in a minefield. They are frozen in place. The ground beneath their feet, which looks like simple desert sand, is seeded with death. They are surrounded. The group is paralyzed by fear, realizing that every step could be their last. The trauma of seeing Tanin explode just hours earlier is compounded by the memory of Esteban's death just hours earlier. "I see Tanin exploding again and again," a woman whispers. The bravado of the rave culture evaporates. Biggie, the punk who had been so loud and defiant, is now just a scared kid. He decides to take a risk. He sees footprints, Luis's footprints, and assumes that following the path already trodden is the only way to survive. He steps carefully, trying to trace the line of safety. But the desert has no logic. As Biggie follows the tracks, another explosion shatters the silence. He is gone. "Biggie followed your tracks and exploded," a survivor tells Luis in disbelief. The logic of survival has broken down. Following the path is not enough. Being careful is not enough. The Sirat is sharper than a sword, and it demands something else. Luis, the father who has lost everything, his daughter, his friend, his hope, stands amidst the carnage. He looks at the distance to the safety of the rocks. It is 60 meters, then 80. It feels like miles. The survivors are screaming at him, telling him to run or to freeze, their minds broken by the paradox of their situation. But Luis enters a state of eerie calm. He stops analyzing the ground. He stops looking for the hidden triggers. He simply walks. In a sequence that defies explanation, Luis traverses the minefield. He does not run, he does not flinch. He walks through the valley of the shadow of death and emerges unscathed on the other side. When Josh, the last remaining boy from the rave group, asks him in awe, "How did you get through?" Luis's answer is profound in its simplicity. "I don't know. I walked without thinking. He didn't survive by outsmarting the trap. He survived by surrendering to it. The film concludes with a haunting image of the two survivors, Luis and Josh, the old world and the new, united by trauma and survival. They must continue forward in this apocalyptic landscape. Luis turns to the young man and offers the final instruction, a thematic closing to their journey across the razor's edge. "Let's go, Josh," with eyes closed. It is an acknowledgement that in a world gone mad, where seeing the danger only brings paralysis, the only way to move forward is with blind faith.